Coming up on episode 69 of Creative Writing, I'm talking with Jennifer Pierce all about challenges and courses.
I can't go back to sleep, it's almost light. These restless thoughts have kept me up again tonight.
Hello and welcome to Creative Writing, episode 69. I'm your host, Kirsten Oliphant, and this is the podcast for writers, bloggers, and creatives who want to build an online platform without being smarmy. So today I have got a great interview with Jennifer Pierce of jenniferpiercehealth.com. She is one of the speakers with me, actually even on the same panel at Blog Her Food this upcoming weekend. And we chatted all about some different revenue streams that she has. So instead of kind of doing a food blogging model of getting tons of traffic to your site and using ads or sponsored posts, Jennifer actually has created these detox challenges that are a paid program and also is about to create her first course. So we talked in depth about challenges and courses and how these are working for her. I'm about to launch a free Twitter challenge. So I was really excited to kind of hear how her end of it worked, even though hers was paid. And challenges are a really great way, if you're doing a free challenge, to grow your list and grow community. And also, there's a lot of people who use them as a springboard for making sales. I don't have a Twitter product, so I'm not going to be promoting any kind of course at the end necessarily, but you can also do paid challenges like hers, where she has a couple times a year, they start up and they get a menu plan and work together. So you'll hear more about that in the interview. Before we go there, a few quick things. If you have noticed, my sites, all of them, multiple sites have been down. Most of them are up except for the free email course, and just lots of tech snafus last week. It was a very exciting week for our family in a not so great way, but everything is kind of okay now. And we also had a raccoon in the attic, which I got out. And if you're in our Facebook group, this is where you get to hear and see kind of the behind the scenes things, like the video of my husband getting the raccoon out of the attic. So if you want to get a little more personal and see what other people in the community are talking about, you can find that over at creativewriting.com/community. The video is ridiculous. So anyway, yes, I think all the sites are back up. Hopefully the free email course will be back up this week as well. But yes, tech issues, they happen. And a big shout out to Mary Dennis of WP Tech Cafe, which stands for WordPress Tech Cafe, .com. So WPTechCafe.com. She helped to get my sites back in order and is still kind of hammering things out to get them working again. Yay. You've got to have somebody on hand for these issues because they happen. So anyway, sorry if you went and visited my sites, or if you sent me an email to Kirsten@KirstenElephant.com or creativewriting.com, they probably bounced right back to you. So yeah, very exciting stuff there. Coming up this week, today is Monday as I'm going to drop this episode, and October 5th, which is Wednesday, I am doing a workshop webinar with ConvertKit, and we are going to talk all about growing your list, about teaching and using teaching as a tool for list growth, which is amazing. So if you are working on building that online platform and trying not to be smarmy, this is all about how you can offer value to grow your list and keep giving people value. So it's going to be really great. I think they're going to be offering a free trial. So if you have been wanting to see the back end of ConvertKit after hearing me talk about it, this is a great place to do it. So if you want to register for that, you can go to creativewriting.com/CK webinar. So once again, creativewriting.com/CK webinar. All right, I'm going to get into the interview with Jennifer and a couple more things on the flip side. Well, I am so excited to bring on Jennifer Pierce to the podcast today. How are you doing today, Jennifer?
I'm great, Kirsten. How are you?
I am wonderful. And you are another one of the speakers at Blog Her Food. I'm doing a series with food bloggers, and you and I are actually on the same panel. So I'm kind of excited about this. Well, let's go ahead and dive into kind of where you are now, like what you're up to right now, and kind of the fast forward version of like the journey that brought you to the place that you're at now.
Well, my blog is focused on healthy food and, traveling and eating healthy. The way that I got there was, I guess about 5 years ago, I decided that I wanted to get rid of my migraines naturally and try to see if I could figure out if I had a food allergy or if there's something that I could control outside of, external forces like environment and pollution and that sort of thing. And so I kind of put myself on these little, I went vegan for a month. I went gluten-free for a month to try to see if I could see anything going on with my migraines. And I just got really interested in food as kind of like medicine. And my friends started asking me for recipes, or they would ask me what I was doing this month. And then it just kind of turned into a blog. And that's all it really was me telling my friends and my family, oh, this is what I cooked this week. Maybe you want to try it. And I didn't really expect it to go anywhere. And my interest kind of turned into, kind of a passion. And I enrolled in an online nutrition school and became a health coach. And then thought, man, I could just really do something with this, and slowly started developing programs that I could release on my blog and website. That's kind of the mini scoop of where I'm at and how I got to blogging here 5 years later.
That's awesome. I love it when it's kind of an organic journey, like something that's already happening in your life takes you to this next step, which is how I started this podcast, actually. Not intentionally, it just kind of happened through the things I was already doing. So it's really, I feel like those things are such a good fit for us. And then it's really neat that like there's this whole world where you can make money online and have a living and have it be your business. Like this is just still kind of really exciting to me. I mean, even though I've been blogging forever, like it's a fun world to me. Like I'm still very excited. And I'm only sometimes jaded. Only when I read like really terrible advice from people trying to help people online make money.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, this world. But most of the time I get excited. So, okay, so you do some coaching, and I think you have some courses and stuff you're doing, and you have a really cool challenge that's going on. So like, what are some of the revenue streams that you're using then on your blog and for your business?
Well, the only revenue stream that has been successful is my detox program. So I have online videos and PDF programs PDFs that I have created into a program. And when people sign up for my program, they will get daily emails. They'll get all the PDF files that basically just the content delivered into their inbox. And whenever they sign up, and I use MailChimp, autoresponders, and that sort of thing. So I do it two ways. One is you can sign up anytime. So you found my website and you're like, oh, this girl is kind of cool and I like what she's doing. So I'm going to buy her detox and I'm going to do it on my own. And that's a recent thing that I've just started. But how I ended up here was I started with the group programs and accountability. And that's what's been most successful because, when you're doing it alongside people, you can't drink your wine or you can't have your cookie or whatever it is. If you have somebody else doing it alongside you, it's a lot easier. And that's where the success has come.
Now, are you doing do you have like a Facebook group when you do the sort of the group programs, like where they're running together?
Absolutely. So that's the accountability piece. Like they have me in their inbox. They have me, to ask questions if they aren't feeling comfortable to ask them from the group. But they also do have that online accountability, a Facebook group. So posting questions or posting successes or slip ups and that sort of thing. And so everybody can come alongside and have the encouragement.
That's really cool. Now, do people stay in the group after their detox and then kind of like join in when a new group comes in, or do you kick people out, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, so that's the best part, because I have people who have done almost every one of my detoxes, because once you buy it, then you're in it for life, because now you have the content, you have all of the PDF files, so you can just follow along with the recipes, the shopping lists, the program guide and all of that. And so I love it when past detoxers join in with the current group, because they can share what they've learned or, what's worked for them or what hasn't. And it's always come at a time when somebody's like, oh, I'm so glad you're doing this group detox because I need it, because they won't do it on their own.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool.
That is really cool. So, okay, for the evergreen, where people can just buy it whenever they want, do they get added into the Facebook group, but they're just kind of like there's people,
Yeah.
but they're not doing maybe exactly what they're doing at the same exact time kind of thing.
Right. So I'm playing with this. It's pretty new. And so I don't have a lot of feedback yet from people who have done it. But it is kind of like crickets in there if I'm not running a group program. So I'm not sure how they feel by just joining, and then absolutely I would respond to them if they had questions. And then I always say whenever they join on their own, like, hey, the next time I run a group program, like, for sure want you to join in. It's free. Like this comes with your, your package. There's just not a group program going now. But some people just, when they're ready to start, they want to start. And so I want to give them that opportunity. And then it also opens up an opportunity for me to have sales while I'm not, running a program.
So when it comes time, like, how many times do you do the program a year? And then kind of a follow-up to that, like, how do you promote the detoxes when it's like the kickoff time for everybody doing it together?
So I run maybe from 3 to 4, and that's mostly... there is no secret number. And if I have more people that are asking, then, maybe I would run 2 back to back and then not one for a quarter or something. But I always start promoting in December, maybe late November around Thanksgiving to start getting in people's minds that I'm going to start a detox, because of course the beginning of the year is when everyone wants to jump on the healthy eating bandwagon. So I try to ride that train. And it's good for, people who want to give Christmas presents. They're coming out of Thanksgiving and Christmas eating. And so it's just a good opportunity in my niche, to promote a healthy eating program. And I do it by my email list and Facebook and Instagram by posting, images of the recipes that are on my detox, and say you can get this recipe if you join in, and, link in my profile. And, have people share my posts on Facebook so that so I can get in front of their friends and their audience.
Awesome. I'm asking so many questions because I'm about to run my first, it's going to be a free challenge, but I'm doing a free Twitter challenge. And so I'm like, let's see how other people, this is very selfish of me, but I'm sure there are other people who are interested in either running or maybe even taking part in challenges, because this has been, I've heard a lot of people talk about how these kinds of challenges, whether they're free or paid, can be really amazing to grow your audience and to bring in revenue. Like I don't know if you follow the Simple Green Smoothies girls, but they have been on kind of like all these podcasts and blogs talking about how they grew their list by doing like these free challenges 3 to 4 times a year. Yeah. And so I'm really interested in this idea, but it's my first one to run. So it's always good to hear how kind of the back end of stuff works for people. And I know, okay, so you, I think, are about to launch or are moving towards launching courses as well. So do you want to talk a little bit about what kind of that has been like, or what led to that decision, and how you're handling all of those? And I'll have lots of follow-up questions for this too. So
okay. So where to start? Well, this is going to actually be a whole new revenue stream for me in a totally different field. So not food related, somewhat health and wellness related. And I think I'm going to end up tying it all together. I'm just kind of in the outlining content development stage. But my newest product that I want to launch, hopefully by the beginning of the year, is called Sabbatical Sessions. And it's going to be an online course, 8 weeks long, to walk people through, particularly career women that are maybe 10 years into their career and they're feeling very, like what they're doing isn't impactful, they aren't fulfilled, or maybe they're in a job that has nothing to do with their skill set or their talents and their giftings. And maybe they really don't care about what they're doing, and they don't foresee themselves for the next 30 years doing this, number crunching or whatever it is. And so I want to offer this course that will walk them through like their fears of what it looks like to quit your job and pursue something that you're passionate about and travel the world. Or maybe it's traveling the world isn't what you want to do, but you want to quit your job and go live in the mountains in Colorado for a year and take a sabbatical. So however it looks like for them, but just to walk them through the ups and downs of, oh my gosh, can I walk away from my job? I've spent 10 years building this career, and now I'm just going to go off the deep end. And what are people going to say? And how am I going to pay my bills? And, are people going to think I'm crazy? And am I crazy? Am I having a midlife crisis? So all of those things will be covered in sabbatical sessions.
And I love that you have like a really specific target audience. Like you want to target career women who are about 10 years in, like that, and aren't feeling passionate about what they're doing. Because I think sometimes like I hear people talk about course ideas or wanting to launch something, and like the idea is so broad, because I think sometimes you think like, well, I don't want to exclude anybody, but when you're more targeted like that, you know, and you're able to speak those people's language, and they hear it, and the message really resonates with them, and it doesn't exclude people, because you will probably be surprised and have some random like dudes who are, know, at a different place in their career, or women in a different place in their career who will hear that, and it resonates with them too. So it's not exclusive, but it's just targeted, which is awesome. So that sounds really, really good. Well, what are you doing to kind of build? Are you going to have like a live training each week, or are you going to have modules that are already built out and people can just go read or watch? Like what does the sort of back end process of this look like for you?
To be determined, but the ideas that I have now are that it's going to be an online course with content that's unlocked either every week or every other week, given that these women are going to be in a career and, maybe working late nights, they're burnout, all those things that come with that. I don't want to overwhelm them with too much content. So I'm thinking maybe every 2 weeks it'll release. And that way it gives them 2 weeks to work on the content, listen to the modules, work on the worksheets and like do the homework assignments. But yeah, I think I'll do, talking over PowerPoints as like the main way of delivering the content with downloadable outlines of whatever I'm going over, and then, downloadable worksheets that they can walk through whatever we're learning about or whatever we're processing or discovering about ourselves that particular session. And then, at the beginning of the program, I want to have like an introductory video, and before each session is released, have an introductory video of like me on the camera, like they can see my face. So that's like actually within the online program.
And are you going to host it on your own site, or are you going to use something like Teachable or Thinkific, or what are you thinking?
So Teachable has been the highest on my list so far, because I am not like super tech savvy. And so hosting it on my own, I think would end up being like, that's not where I'm gifted. And that's not like, that's going to bring more frustration than finding an expert that has it, they not recreate the wheel. So find an expert that's, has a beautiful online platform to just plug and play. And so Teachable, one of the things that I really like about Teachable is that they have, might be of interest to your audience, is that they have an affiliate program. So if somebody buys my sabbatical sessions program and then they refer their friend because they took a sabbatical and their friend's like, oh my God, how did you do this? They're already signed up as an affiliate.
Awesome.
And it's not in a, oh my gosh, this is an affiliate link kind of way. It's, my gosh, you went and traveled to Southeast Asia for 6 months. How on earth did you do that? And it's like, oh, I made this connection with this girl and she like walked me through, like, you should go check it out. And if they come to my site, then, she's going to get an affiliate payment for that. And, what that does for me is it brings me word of mouth customers. But it also brings me, my dream client, somebody that already is in that sphere of, I see somebody who took the leap of faith and I want to be where they are. And now they're walking into my, into my inbox, or into my, signing up for my freebie, or my, commenting on my Instagram. And then I can start, building the relationship with them there.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think for anyone out there who's trying to decide what to do in terms of hosting, like if you're going to do an online course, what you said is so key, that if it's going to be more of a headache to do it yourself, then don't, hire out the expert, which in this case is like the platform.
Right. Yeah. I am not the expert. I don't want to learn that stuff.
No,
like, it's going to bog me down.
And that's actually like, I actually like literally just this week have finished building out a membership site and moving my course over there and updating it, and then found out like I got this email that like the plugin and the system I was using essentially is changing next week to something that isn't going to work for me anymore. And I was like, are you serious? Like I just built this entire site based on your stuff and now I have to move, which means I have to undo essentially the last month I spent working on this is just like, and I have to go redo it. And I'm like, why didn't I just stay on Teachable and things? But I'm such a control freak. For me, I want to have it. And so like, it's important enough to me that I'm going to do it, even though it means this kind of giant headache when I'm like, I could have just stayed somewhere else. I'm still glad I made this choice for me. But that's the thing is like, you have to choose what works for you. And sometimes it's just so much easier to hire out the expert.
So with Teachable, is there some kind of catch where it's not your own?
No, it still is. I think it's just more, I like having all the stuff in my area.
Okay.
And so, yeah, Teachable definitely, like the content is all yours and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, and Teachable, I think, is here to stay. Like, they are doing awesome. Yeah, they have so much good stuff. I really do like Teachable. I've taken courses on there, and it's so pretty and easy. But there's just something about, and especially because I'm creating a membership site, I think that was the reason I wanted to have the site where my membership people can have access to all my courses. And I wanted it in one place. So I wanted to have extra stuff that was just for my members, and then also the courses. So if somebody buys a standalone course, it's right there. And hey, they're also going to see that I have a membership site right there, which, you know, Teachable, if you have a couple courses, people, when they go to your Teachable space, will see those, which is really cool about that platform. So I like Teachable. I used it and then decided to go my own way. And both ways you end up, I mean, it's just hard. It's not easy to build courses. Like, it just takes a lot of work. Either way you do it, it's a lot of work.
You bring up an awesome point, something that we'll touch on, I think, at Blog Her, which is, start with your why and where do you think you're going to go? And you can't always predict the future, but you know, if you could dream big, where would you end up? Or maybe you don't want to, and maybe you just want to stay small and you're interested in just having a hobby blog or something. So, you know, maybe a Teachable is okay. And, I don't know. Whenever I started, I didn't think through any of that. I was like, all right, I'll start on WordPress.com.
I was on Blogger, so,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, it's just, you're a baby blogger. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. And it's always like picking up the tools along the way, which is why I love this podcast and talking to people, because I pick up tools talking to people, and then hopefully my audience does as well. One thing that is really cool that you mentioned, I wanted to kind of circle back to you about Teachable, is the affiliate program being baked in, because that is killer. And I know I've been an affiliate for somebody on Teachable, and like the way they have it all set up is amazing. It's so smooth. You don't have to do anything. It's just easy. So that's the other thing about building out a membership site and courses on my own, is that I'm also having to figure out the affiliate piece. So it's kind of like I have to figure out membership software and plugins or themes, course software, plugins and themes, and then the affiliate piece, and then like the payment piece. And what I've realized in this whole week of like figuring out like, oh no, because I have time sensitive stuff. Like I have something that's a part of a bundle, a course, and I already gave them all the login information. The course launches the bundle's next month. And so I'm like, wait, I have to change all my stuff for you. And they're like, we need it by next week. So like, I have to decide right now and set it up right now. So I have to figure out all these pieces, but like, they don't all come together. So like, I'll look at membership software and it's really cool, but it doesn't actually handle how people pay every month. Like, you have to buy something else to handle that. Which I'm like, well, what good are you? Like, how are you, like, what are you actually doing then? Like, if your membership software, like, what is your purpose? Like, if you can't take a payment every month, like, how are you calling yourself? Anyway, so all that to say, it's really nice to have the affiliate piece baked in. And I loved how you described how that would work for you, because I've also talked on the podcast before several times about things that are smarmy. That's one of my big things, is like no smarm with your sales and how you're reaching your audience. But there's so many like smarmy gross affiliate programs. And I think the way you described it is how it should work. People should be excited about what they have experienced and done, and then tell their friends. And it should be easy. It should be authentic. I recommend some things I don't use, but they're things I love or have used or totally believe in. I'm like, okay, this would be great for my audience. I haven't used it, but I know enough about it that I can recommend it as an affiliate, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you going to how are you setting up your affiliate kind of piece? Are you telling people from the get-go? Are you waiting till they get through the course, or still kind of trying to hammer that out?
I don't know if I want to call it an affiliate,
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I need to think through. Like, how are my, ideal clients going to feel about that word or that concept? To some it may not be a big deal, but to some they might be like, okay, well, you're just using me to get to my friends or something like that. So I think once they get to know me and they see the course and they see how I teach, and that I'm like, it's not about getting your connections, it's about helping more people. They'll get over any weirdness and salesiness that they feel about being an immediate affiliate. But I think I will mention that somewhere in the maybe FAQs or something, like towards the very end of like a sales page or something, just so that they're not blindsided once they get in and they didn't, like, I didn't disclose everything about what was happening with all the programming that I was offering.
Teachable does make it easy to just bake that in. So, you don't have to go do a whole lot of extra work or get some extra thing to set up an affiliate program. Well, one of the things, and this kind of, I feel like in some way ties in my brain anyway, to this is, people always talk about the sweet spot of making money from doing what they love. But sometimes that's really hard because you do run into kind of like these things that seem icky sometimes, or you have negative things that happen with people, and it hurts more because it's like your passion.
Right.
So, I didn't know. I thought I would ask, have you had any struggles as you're running your blog and business where it's something you love, but it's also a business where that's been really hard for you?
Yes. It's a struggle when, you have expectations and goals set for yourself and you don't meet them, and you have worked so hard to create some content that you think is going to be fantastic and it flops and you don't know why. Or maybe you don't have your tracking set up the way it should be. You're not looking at your data in a timely manner, so it doesn't provide you any information. And that's all a function of what else is going on in your life. Like, I can't just, babysit my blog, every second of the day to know, what's going on and who's clicking where and, what's working and what's not. So, I do get frustrated with myself to not being as attentive as I would like to be. And I think a lot of my frustrations come with, like you're saying, like, I don't have the, my heart isn't in it to learn code and to learn how to build a, affiliate program or how to figure out how to put plugins in to make my videos on my own website. Like, maybe there will come a day when I have the time and I have the bandwidth and the desire to do that. But I do find that's where the exhaustion comes in, because what do I love? I love food. I love healthy food. I love telling people about it. So what does that look like? That looks like taking pictures, and that looks like writing about it. Everything else to me is the business of blogging and not the passion pursuit. And so, what percentage of time goes into that one photo or that one blog post where I'm doing the things that aren't, where my giftings are. And that's where it gets frustrating, because there are a lot more hours behind that one blog post and that one pretty picture.
Yeah. And I really do hate that when you have to spend the time doing the things that, one, you don't love, or two, you just are just kind of a time suck. Like, this is not what I want to do. And there's going to be a time, in the future where I'm just going to hire it out. And I'm not at that point yet. And that's the thing too, is I think, you have to decide, I could afford to hire it out, but I'm not going to, because I can afford it, but it wouldn't allow me to have more money to put towards something else that's going to bring back more return. So it's kind of like balancing that, the money and investing versus your time, because your time is money, but literally right now it's not. Like, I'm not getting money because I have time, that's not exactly how it works. So in the beginning, you have to make those choices, and, using something like Teachable, again, going back to that, like, that is an affordable, awesome solution. All these decisions, man, the business side, it's awesome that it's a business, but like, I just want to do the passion, and we have a lot of writers who listen and they're like, we just want to write. And I'm like, well, but if you want readers, you have to to some degree figure out what this looks like for you to do that business side. Maybe it's hiring, maybe it's somehow outsourcing or using automated tools or, things like that, or learning the code yourself. Sometimes it's that too. But anyway, well, I just really enjoyed that. I feel like this was a great conversation and I have a lot of things I took away selfishly, but I feel like the audience will also get a lot out of this. And I can't wait to meet you this week. In a week, I'll be meeting you, which is so exciting.
Austin. I'm so happy to go back to Texas and looking forward to meeting you and learning so much at Blogger Food. I am so freaking ecstatic to just be there and absorb all the information and network my tail off.
Yes. I feel like I can't even say I'm a part-time food blogger. I used to do a ton of food and now I'm doing maybe 10%. But I've talked to some other people who are speaking and going to be there that aren't blogging about food. So it made me feel a little better. But I've been telling my audience, food bloggers, you guys, these guys are the smart bloggers. You want to hear from them because they are really savvy, and you are. So where can people find you?
They can find me on my website, jenniferpiercehealth.com. Also, sabbaticalsessions.com is just a landing page where they can drop in their email and they can see what's coming on there. And then Instagram is Jennifer Pierce Health and
awesome.
Sabbatical Sessions. Yeah.
Well, I'll leave links to all this in the show notes too for our visual people who are driving. This is what I do. I'm always driving my car. I'm like, that website sounds really nice.
I'll never remember.
I know. So for those of you guys who are listening and driving your cars or multitasking children or dishes, it will all be on the show notes and you can find it on the website. So thank you, Jennifer, so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Kirsten, such an honor and looking forward to meeting you soon.
So I hope that interview was encouraging and enlightening for you, especially if you have maybe not considered. I really hadn't considered challenges before. I've heard a lot of people talking and it didn't seem like a big thing. We'll see how this Twitter challenge goes. And if you want to hear about that, I don't have the landing page up yet because I've been debating about the name in the Facebook community. And I laugh because we've had some hilarious names. So I'm not sure what we're settling on. But if you want to hear about the Twitter challenge, which is basically going to be encouragement to get you moving on Twitter if you're just starting out, or if you want kind of more of a community and want to start actually talking to people and learning some more advanced tools, it's for you too. So sign up for my email list, and that's where I will be announcing that this week and have a landing page up this week to sign up. So to sign up for my email list, createifwriting.com/subscribe. But I loved hearing Jennifer's take on that and also kind of talking through some of the pros and cons. If you're thinking about hosting an online course, do you want to build it yourself? I actually edited some of the conversation out because I dove a little bit deeper than I wanted to in some of the issues I've had. Unrelated to the site being down, I've had other issues like, for example, the course software and membership software that I had set up on my site. That plugin and company kind of went through a big change and I don't want to use them anymore. And so I'm going to have to rebuild my entire site. So that is a con, whereas using something like Teachable is a pro because they just run it off for you. You just upload your videos and put things in order. It's super, super simple. I've definitely used it. So if you're not wanting to do the tech, I really wanted to have the control in terms of having everything on my own site. So that's why I chose that. And that's the right choice for me, even though it's a huge headache. And I knew that. But if you don't want the headache, go use teachable.com. I'm not an affiliate or anything, but I do really like them. They're very easy, very affordable, especially if you're making money with your online courses, which if you're going to do an online course, I would make sure that you do what I would say validate it first. I've been seeing a lot of people in groups talking about their courses not doing well, but I don't think they actually asked their members, what do you want? And I know when I created my first email course last year, I didn't ask if people wanted an email course. And a lot of people didn't. Email tends to not be the thing that people want to pay for unless you are offering or, advertising that you're going to help people grow a list of 10,000 people and make them, their first 5-figure launch with their email. So some people are just kind of like, email's going to go on the back burner. Still love my course and about to relaunch it because it's already there and I love it. So again, you make choices, and my choice was I'm going to go ahead and do this. Now, I know other things that people are wanting from me, so we're going to do that. And one more time, this is one of those things we're going to do with the Twitter challenge. So I really hope you will subscribe to my email and then sign up for the Twitter challenge when it comes full details. I may even do a short podcast episode about that this week if I have time to kind of get on there and talk to you guys about it. One more thing I would really love from you guys is I'm still kind of running that survey of demographics of my listeners, not my readers, because I love my readers. I have people who just read and don't listen, but this is for you guys. If you're hearing my voice, this is for you. It's like a 5-question, really basic demographic survey, and it kind of helps me know who is listening and from where, as I may be moving into sponsorship and doing some things like that. So it really, you could answer it in probably less than a minute. But you can find that at creativewriting.com/pod survey, like podcast, but pod survey. So I'm really thankful for all of my listeners, for my supportive community, and just the encouragement that I've been getting from you guys. I love it. It's so fantastic. Mostly you guys are talking to me in the Facebook group. If you want to reach out on Twitter, you can do that. I'm Kiki Mojo over there. You can connect with Jennifer if you really resonated with her. And I'm thinking about maybe doing a detox after pregnancy. It sounded really exciting looking into that. So you can find her at jenniferpiercehealth.com. And I'm just glad to be here. Glad we have sites back working. Glad to be hopefully through some of the tech issues. I have to rebuild a bunch of stuff this week, but hey, that's part of life, right? Thank you so much to Jasmine Commerce of jasminecommercemusic.com for the music for this show. And once again, thank you to each and every one of you who are listening. Connect with me in our Facebook group, creativewriting.com/community, Twitter, Kiki Mojo, show me where you're listening, or just send me an email. If you can't get through, if the sites, I need to see if the email is back up. The sites are up. I don't know if the email is redirecting yet, but you can always reach me at kirstenoliphant@gmail.com. Very classy and professional. Don't forget to sign up for the ConvertKit webinar. You can find that again at creativewriting.com/CK webinar. And I hope you have an inspired week.